You know, I'm from the state of California, and it's known for many of its great attributes. The movie industry, the weather, the beaches, the beautiful people, the many sports teams, and expensive ass rent. But one thing that California is not known for, and it probably should be, is this whole call center opportunity for employment. At least it used to be when I still lived there. This was an opportunity for many unskilled young Americans that, like myself, that were coming out of college or looking for an entry-level job to make a lot of money. And companies like Apple, Tesla, Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, among others, were companies that we can go to and get good jobs with flexible work schedules. And at this particular time, I was really able to understand the African American experience amongst other black employees in a large and open environment that kind of coincided with the credo of a company. That means how black people typically work in comparisons to what the standards of the company as they were wanting employees to coincide with that culture. Today's video, we're talking about a certain scenario because I did a video about racism in the workplace on the other channel called the Brother Pill podcast. And many times when we look at African Americans as to why they're not so successful in manager and other positions like that, we think it's racism. But I'm going to come with a little bit of a difference of opinion today. And I'm going to say that partly to blame for the lack of African American success in management positions are other African American employees themselves. And for today, we're going to use two subjects, person A and B. Person A is Leroy, person B is Keisha. Assuming that they work at a call center environment, let's call it Negro Wireless, okay? Negro Wireless is a company that has 20% African American employees, and Leroy and Keisha have been there for 10 years. Now, why is this important? 10 years. Typically, 10 years is either enough time to fall in love with the company or to really hate it, to be disgruntled, to be pissed off at it. Now, that could have been because the company changed some of its payout policies. The company has had some bad management. But for whatever reason, Leroy and Keisha hate this company, but they're not going to leave because they're too lazy. So they are disgruntled and they have checked out of the company. Now, this person, Charles, who just had an interview with Negro Wireless, and it went something like this. You know how job interviews go. So, Charles, tell me why we should give you the job. Why should we hire you at Negro Wireless? And then here's a response from Charles. Well, I can really work hard. I'm really good with people. I really want to learn. I'm a team builder. I put the customer first, and my golly, I'm going to be the best rep that I can be. He's fired up. Just like Leroy and Keisha were 10 years ago. He's on probation for 90 days. He gets the job. He's kicking ass. Setting records. Doesn't have any negativity. All the bosses are praising his work efforts. But look at Leroy and Keisha over there. Person A, person B. Leroy, Keisha, not happy about it. Why? Leroy and Keisha are written up. Here it goes. Violent coin. Written up for underperforming. Their manager says, Leroy, Keisha, you're fucking up. You're on final warning. You're going to be fired if you have another underperforming month like this. Look at this guy, Charles, who just got here. And he doesn't even know what you know, and he's outperforming you. And you've been there for 10 years. You should be ashamed of yourself. How is that guy outperforming you? Leroy and Keisha can't say anything. They don't have any excuse, because what excuse do they have? They've been there for so long, and they're underperforming. Now, Charles is getting awards. He's going to climb the corporate ladder. But not if Leroy and Keisha have anything to do with it, because they're all on the same team. Leroy and Keisha are out on the break in the car, smoking weed as they typically do. Come back smelling like weed and chips and blunt wrappers. What they're going to do now is they're going to make a situation where they can put Charles in an email list. Now, why is that important? Because it's not the personal email at home. No, this is the work email. And so in the work email, they're going to be talking about other people. They're going to be sending images that are inappropriate. And if they get caught doing this, and if Charles responds to it, they're all going to go see HR about this certain thing. Now, here's the thing. Getting written up for underperformance and behavior is two different type of warnings, right? So Leroy and Keisha know the game. They can take a warning for code of conduct, and that has nothing to do with their underperformance. So for them, it's nothing. They beat the system. It's only 90 days. So Charles doesn't respond to this. He's focused on what he wants to do. But then the next thing is Leroy and Keisha are going to start talking about inappropriate things around the team during work. They're going to get into some of this call center gossip. And you guys know how it works if you work in call centers. Typically, one employee, C, is fucking employee D, or supervisor A is fucking employee E, or her supervisor C is screwing supervisor A and B and E at the same time. So then we start talking about this whole kind of culture of gossip. Let's take his attention off of the customers. Let's corrupt him to be a nigga like us. You know, all of a sudden, hey, Charles, man, you doing real good, man, bro. Why you working so hard, bro? Man, you should learn how. Why don't you come hang out with us? See, they want to disrupt him and make him miserable like them. So in case they start talking about inappropriate things, start talking about sex, start talking about stuff they shouldn't be talking about at work when they should be focused on the customer, if Charles gets implicated, then he's going to be on the spiral, a down path like them. Because see, in jobs, a lot of employers don't tell you what employees not to hang around. Like underperforming employees, don't hang around them. But see, that's what they're trying to do. They want Charles to be miserable like them so that nobody can hold them accountable for why they're underperforming. Because see, they can't quit because they don't want to quit. They rather stay there and do the minimum and stay there at the job. And then employees like Charles either separate from them or he becomes one of them. And see, that's how a lot of good employees get tarnished from other black employees. Because see, a lot of us don't want to admit that Leroy nor Keisha or some other folks, they want to hate on other people and pull them back from doing well. Because if one black person does well, especially if that employee is newer than you, then that doesn't give you any excuse to do well. So a lot of times it's not even right racism. See, it's black people in the job holding other black people back because you don't want nobody to judge you for why you don't want to do your motherfucking job. And see, that's hard pill to swallow, ain't it? But that's why Leroy and Keisha be hating on you on your job. Or maybe, just maybe you are a Leroy. Or maybe you are a Keisha. Because see, and this happens on YouTube too. A lot of folks are mad at other people because, you know, they work hard. They put the effort in. They really want to do well for themselves. and you don't like the comparisons that people make when it comes to you and why you're underperforming, so you find ways to knock them off their game. And that is typically what happens in a lot of jobs, but it just goes unspoken. So it's easier to say it's white racism, but no, it's niggas too. So guys, thank you for watching the video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell. All of my information is in the description. Subscribe, tell a friend. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.